Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the City of Warrenville City Council regular meeting for Monday, January 6th, 2025. May I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Ashour,
Here.
Alderman Augustinovich,
Here.
Alderman Berry,
Here.
Alderman Davalos,
Here.
Alderman Kruckenberg,
Here.
Alderman Lockett,
Here.
Alderman Widener is absent, and Alderman Wilkie.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Widener is excused this evening. Would you please stand as you're able and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? This is the part of our meeting that we set aside every time for citizen comments. We have three folks that have signed up this evening. We'll start with Mr. Michael Hoffman.
Hello, Michael Hoffman, 3 South 436 Second
Make sure
Street.
that's mic is on. Mike, is it on?
Excuse me?
The microphone, is it on?
The light's on.
Okay. Just want to make sure you're heard.
What was kind of surprising is I got a letter from the DuPage County Stormwater Management, and they're basically going to do a study on the watershed, the upper West Branch DuPage River, the watershed on it. They did one about 12 or 13 years ago, and they didn't find anything that would create flooding in Warrenville. The only problem is they stopped at shy upstream of the Faywell Dam. So hopefully, this watershed study, they include the Faywell Dam. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Bob Siebert?
Bob Siebert, Albright Court. On February 18th, 1970, I returned to the USA after 8.5 months in Southeast Asia. I was at Seattle International Airport in my Army uniform. As I passed two anti-war demonstrators, they spit at me. My first reaction was to level these people. But I had a 7-month-old son that I had not met. I had a wife that I had not seen in 8.5 months. So I took a deep breath, smiled, and said, "Another time, another day." But I can respect these people because they were dedicated in their cause, because they were truthful, because they were in the open. I can respect those actions. What I can't respect is a city administration that hides from the citizens. What I can't respect is a city administration that doesn't follow its own ordinances. What I can't respect from a city administration that lies to its citizens.
Thank you, Bob. Vivian Lund?
Well, after that statement, I am a little nonplussed, but I just wanted to come and add a little historical perspective to the police pension levy issue. more than 20 years ago, when I was president of the DuPage Mayors and Managers, I made several trips to Springfield to lobby the state representatives relative to the police pension fund. There were a number of years, it's at least 25 years ago, and they were providing all the, they were deciding what benefits there would be in the police pension fund, in the police pensions. And they never sent any money to the local governments to pay for the benefits that they were deciding. And so that's why we were there, was to find a way to have them, if they're making those provisions for pension benefits, they needed to send us some money to pay for them. Well, they never have. And now I know the deadline for fully having your pensions fully funded. And what they're, when you say that, that means however many police officers you've had or have, and is you need to have enough money in the pension fund to pay for their pensions when they retire. Now, Warrenville, you know, when I was mayor, we had one or two that were really came about because of health issues, not age. But Warrenville has a pretty young staff. And so we, you know, are really not paying out pensions. But the state has a deadline which keeps being extended. Kevin, I knew it was, originally it was 2000, well, the last time I knew about it, it was 2028. We would have to have 90% of what we could project of need for the police pensions in the fund. And now he says it's extended to 2040. I know that up through about 2018, the city was putting more into the pension fund than the required amount that they sent. Each year, they tell us how much we have to pay next year. And last year, we paid $1,239,332. This year, they're asking for $1,422,889. So it's about $200,000 more than we paid last year. So I just want to encourage citizens and people, especially who are newer in our community, to have some faith in our city government, because we had two, when I became mayor in 1985, we had two referenda that had been approved by the citizens, and we had that debt, and it was paid off in 1997. And since then, we have not ever again had debt against the general fund. And most cities have debt, and that's a third levy. You levy for the general fund, you levy for the police pensions, and then you levy for debt. And when you read when they're published in the paper, you know, like Naperville, I'm pretty sure they have a separate levy just to pay for debt. And Warrenville hasn't had that ever. So, because the referendum debt was by the city citizens voting to do that. So I just have so much admiration for our city decision makers and our city staff that they have continued to do all that we do as a city here, and have a very responsible group of people, because you were even paying ahead on the police pension for a few years, just so you would not end up with some future council having to create debt in order to pay the police pensions. And, because we can't, you can't deny the rest of your responsibilities in the city. So I just want to keep everyone, it's so hard to be a local representative, because it's so hard to understand these things when they say, well, it really won't be that much, which it won't, but it's just the system, having to create a levy before you know what the EAV is, and then you have certain dollars that the state is telling you have to send them, and it's hard to explain it, it's hard to understand it, and you have to have people that you can know that have a record of being responsible with your money. And so I just want to encourage everyone to keep it cool. It'll turn out all right. And I know we're in better, I always want everyone who's new to our community to know that we got, the TIF was so hard to understand, and I spent 20 years trying to explain the TIF, and it was still hard to understand it. And through the TIF, because of the TIF, we were able to build all 5 public buildings in Warrenville with cash from the TIF, the Conterra TIF. So City Hall, building of City Hall, the police station, the library expansion, the Park District gym part, and equipment for the fire department, all of that was never on your tax bills. None of it ever appeared on your tax bills, and that's a whole lot of millions. So I just want to encourage you to trust that they are not going to go off the deep end. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivian. Anyone else in the audience that didn't know they had to sign up to speak that would like to speak? Okay, we'll move along then to official and staff comments. Just a quick one tonight. On my way here again, and I've experienced this a couple times recently, dark place on Williams Road, there's a runner coming at me on the edge of the pavement wearing all black. This would seem to be a very unprudent way to go out at night. I would just advise people, if you're going to go out and run and walk, great idea, wear something reflective or light colored or have some lights or something. But it is quite a jolt to be driving along and all of a sudden see somebody that you have to swerve to miss because they're on the pavement and they're dressed in a way that you can't see them. So think about that when you go out. It's very important that you're visible at night. That's my advice for this evening, and hopefully people will hear it and heed it. Anything from the clerk? Treasurer?
Just Happy New Year.
All right, sounds good. Very good. Alderman? All right, very good. And City Administrator?
Just a quick announcement, congratulating Assistant City Administrator Morgan, who became a grandmother this evening for the first time. Her daughter Gabby just had a baby boy. Healthy, everybody's healthy and doing well.
Very good. City Attorney? Very good, thank you. Well, then we'll move on to the approval of the agenda this evening. Alderman Kuchenberg, would you like to make that motion?
I would, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda for the January 6th, 2025 City Council regular meeting.
Second.
Second by Alderman Wilkie. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The agenda is approved as presented. We have one set of minutes that need approval also. Alderman Kuchenberg, would you like to make that motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the December 16th, 2024 City Council regular meeting.
Second.
Second again by Alderman Wilkie. Any discussion of the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The minutes are approved as presented. The consent agenda for this evening, item 6A, receive and file report of invoices paid up to December 26, 2024 in the amount of $147,323.60. B, authorize expenditures for invoices due on or before January 20th, 2025 in the amount of $437,947.44. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Alderman Krokenberg?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the consent agenda as read by Mayor Brummel.
Second.
Motion and a second on the consent agenda. May I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Lockett,
Aye.
Alderman Wilkie,
Aye.
Alderman Davalos,
Aye.
Alderman Ashour,
Aye.
Alderman Krokenberg,
Aye.
Alderman Berry,
Aye.
and Alderman Augustinovich.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries, and the agenda is approved as presented. We have nothing under regular agenda. No unfinished business is listed, no new business is listed, and we do not have a need for a closed session, correct?
No, we do.
We do? Well, darn it. I thought we were doing really well there. I didn't see that pink things in my mailbox. All right, who wants to make the motion? Alderman Berry. Darn it.
I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session for the purpose of 5 ILCS 120/2(c)(11), litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent. And 5 ILCS 120/2(c)(5), the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body, including meetings held for the purpose of discussing whether a particular parcel should be acquired.
Second.
Motion and a second by Alderman Wilkie. May I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Ashour,
Here. Aye.
Alderman Lockett,
Aye.
Alderman Berry,
Aye.
Alderman Davalos,
Aye.
Alderman Wilkie,
Aye.
Alderman Augustinovich,
Aye.
and Alderman Krokenberg.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are entering into executive session. We will not be conducting any business at the conclusion of that session. Happy New Year to everyone, and see you next time around.